You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
Hello, movie fans, and welcome to this week's episode of Classic Rewind, where we dive into The Edge of Tomorrow. Before we do that, let me know your thoughts on this film in the comments section below. Is there something you disagree with that I've said? Let me know in the comments. And of course, you can find us on all social media platforms. All the links are in the description. And with that, let's dive right in to The Edge of Tomorrow. Doug Liman's Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, is one of those rare big-budget blockbusters that manages to be simultaneously braining, thrilling, and unexpectedly funny. Released during the summer season, usually a time of sequels and spectacle, it distinguished itself by taking a familiar science fiction concept, the time loop, and repackaging it into something sleek, action-heavy, and emotionally resonant. The film plays like a marriage between Groundhog Day and Saving Private Ryan, wrapped in the high-stakes tension of an alien invasion narrative. At its core, Edge of Tomorrow is not just about battlesuits, explosions, and alien creatures. It's a meditation on resilience, learning through failure, and the strange way repetition can forge both skill and character. It's also about a playful deconstruction of Tom Cruise's own action hero persona. He begins the film as a cowardly public relations officer rather than a fearless soldier, and the journey towards competence becomes part of the story's charm. The film opens with Major William Cage, played by Tom Cruise, a U.S. Army officer whose job is selling the war effort on television rather than fighting on the front lines. When he resists orders to cover a dangerous assault against an alien species known as the Mimics, he's demoted, branded a deserter, and dropped into combat with zero training. Predictably, he dies almost instantly on the beaches of France. But then something strange happens. Cage wakes up the day before the battle, reliving the same sequence of events. After several deaths, he realizes he's stuck in a loop. Each time he dies, the day resets, giving him the chance to learn, adapt, and survive longer. Along the way, he meets Rita, played by Emily Blunt, a legendary war hero nicknamed the Angel of Verdun. Rita once experienced the same time-looping phenomenon, and she recognizes Cage's condition. Together, they train, strategize, and attempt to break the cycle by targeting the alien hive mind. The plot becomes a mix of war epic, dark comedy, and puzzle-solving thriller. Cage's repeated failures, whether he's crushed by alien tentacles, blown up by friendly fire, or decapitated in training, become not just moments of slapstick, but also incremental steps towards progress. Every death becomes a lesson, and every reset becomes another chance to rewrite the outcome. One of the film's most powerful themes is persistence in the face of inevitable failure. Unlike most action heroes who leap into battle and succeed on instinct, Cage only grows competent through relentless trial and error. His arc is a metaphor for practice itself. Mastery is not innate but earned through repetition, mistakes, and hard-won adaptation. Another theme is the redefinition of heroism. Rita, not Cage, is initially the heroic figure, the hardened, battle-scarred warrior whose legend inspires others. Cage, in contrast, is an opportunist and a coward. Watching him stumble his way toward courage turns the film into a sly critique of traditional action movie masculinity. It's not about being fearless from the start, but about confronting fear repeatedly until it no longer controls you. The time loop also forces Cage to grapple with identity. He becomes the only person in the world who remembers countless iterations of events. This isolates him, but also grants him perspective. He learns the fragility of life and the weight of sacrifice. By the end, the man who once schemed to avoid danger willingly embraces it, not for glory, but for necessity. Tom Cruise delivers one of his most layered performances in years. Known for his daredevil stunts and larger-than-life characters, here he begins as smug and cowardly. Watching him flail in exosuits and panic on the battlefield is almost comical. But the humor works precisely because Cruise sells Cage's incompetence. The arc toward hardened soldier feels earned, not rushed. Emily Blunt, however, nearly steals the movie. As Rita, she embodies strength, determination, and emotional restraint. Blunt plays Rita as both a mentor and a partner, grounding the film with toughness but also subtle vulnerability. Her relationship with Cage never devolves into cliché romance. Instead, it develops into mutual respect forged under pressure. which makes the film's climax even more moving. The supporting cast, Brendan Gleeson as the hard-nosed general, Bill Paxton as the eccentric Master Sergeant Farrell, round out the ensemble with memorable character work. Paxton's Tennessee drawl and over-the-top delivery gave the film a welcome streak of absurdity amid the chaos. Doug Lyman, best known for The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, brings kinetic energy to the film without losing clarity. The action sequences on the beach, reminiscent of Normandy and Saving Private Ryan, are chaotic but never incomprehensible. The repetition of events, Cage's reawakening, his deployment, his inevitable death, could have grown tedious, but the director ensures that each iteration is filmed with variation. Some are brief montages, others prolonged battles, each one teaching us something new. Cinematographer captures both the gritty realism of combat and the futuristic aesthetic of mechanized suits. The exoskeleton design feels both believable and cumbersome, forcing soldiers to move with awkward weight that mirrors Cage's own ineptitude. The film balances spectacle with grounded physicality, a tricky feat for science fiction. The editing by James Herbert and Laura Jennings is crucial in the film's success. The resets are quick, punchy, and often humorous, preventing the loop mechanic from dragging. Montage is used masterfully. A sequence of Cage training with Rita, repeatedly failing and being shot in the head to reset, is played with both dark comedy and tragic inevitability. The mimics, alien creatures designed with fractal-like tentacles and jittery movement, are terrifying in their unpredictability. Unlike many CGI monsters, they feel dangerous because they're fast, agile, and visually unreadable. Combined with the frenetic camera work, their presence ensures that every combat scene remains intense. The action choreography blends futuristic weaponry with old-fashioned battlefield grit. Explosions, crashes, and desperate hand-to-hand struggles give the movie a visceral edge. It's not just spectacle, it feels exhausting, which underscores the stakes. Upon release, Edge of Tomorrow was praised by critics but underperformed slightly at the box office, due in part to weak marketing. The original title confused audiences, and subsequent home media releases leaned on the tagline, Live, Die, Repeat, to emphasize the loop mechanic. Over time, however, the film developed a strong cult following, widely regarded as one of the best science fiction films of the 2010s. Its influence can be seen in later media that embraced time loop mechanics, from Happy Death Day to video game-inspired narratives. The rumored sequel, titled Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat, has been in development limbo for years, but fans remain hopeful. Most importantly, the film reaffirmed Tom Cruise's ability to subvert his action hero image while still delivering thrills. It also cemented Emily Blunt as a bona fide action star, paving the way for her roles in Sicario and A Quiet Place. Edge of Tomorrow owes its existence to Hiroshi Sakurazaka's 2004 Japanese novel, All You Need Is Kill. The source material is shorter, sharper, and far darker in tone, steeped in manga-style violence and existential angst. Its protagonist, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, is a young Japanese recruit who finds himself caught in the same time loop mechanic as Cage. The novel dwells heavily on the character's psychological torment, how reliving death and battle slowly erodes his sense of humanity. When Hollywood adapted the novel, several key changes were made. The character became William Cage, a middle-aged Western PR officer, rather than a young frontline soldier. The story shifted from Japan to a global conflict staged largely in Europe, echoing the iconography of World War II. These changes gave the film a broader international appeal while allowing Tom Cruise to play a character who evolves from coward to hero. Another major shift is the elevation of Rita. In the novel, the female soldier is important, but in the film she becomes an equal partner, even overshadowing the protagonist in certain respects. This change not only gave Emily Blunt one of her most iconic roles, but also balanced the story's gender dynamics in a way that felt fresh for a Hollywood blockbuster. Despite these alterations, the movie preserves the novel's core theme, that death is not an endpoint, but a brutal teacher, and survivor demands resilience in the face of endless failure. A decade after its release, Edge of Tomorrow continues to feel fresh. Its clever use of the time loop transforms what could have been a derivative alien invasion story into a meditation on failure, persistence, and the slow forging of heroism. The performances of Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, combined with assured direction, ensure the film balances humor, heartbreak, and spectacle with unusual finesse. More importantly, it resonates because it speaks to a universal truth. No one becomes great without failing first. Cage dies hundreds of times, but each death brings him closer to survival. The message is simple yet profound. Progress is painful. Growth is incremental, and heroism is not about being fearless, but also learning to keep going. By marrying blockbuster thrills with sharp thematic undercurrents, Edge of Tomorrow earned its place as a modern classic. It's a film that invites rewatching, fittingly echoing its own narrative loop. Every time you come back to it, you see something new, laugh at a joke you missed, or appreciate a detail in the choreography. Few blockbusters manage to combine brains, heart, and adrenaline so seamlessly. That's why, nearly 10 years later, it's still not just remembered, but cherished. So let me know your thoughts on Edge of Tomorrow in the comments section below. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps this channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring new hosts, be able to pay them, and one day take this show on the road. And your support can help make that happen. So head on over to buymeacoffee.com/TCNS, that's the wrong channel. Buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. And whether you give $1, $20, $50, $100, $1,000, everything is appreciated, no matter how small or how big you give. And of course, with that, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.